I bring you greetings of solidarity from the over 28,000 members of the New York Taxi Workers Alliance. These are the men and women that you see on the streets that serve over 1 million people every single day. Whether they're driving a yellow cab, a livery, an Uber, a Lyft, or a green cab. Our members are proud to stand in solidarity with the workers of today. About 4 years ago, we stood on these very same streets at this very spot, and we ourselves did a hunger strike. With my brother Richard Chow, who's on the street right now with his taxi. A group of us did a hunger strike for 15 days. We know that it is not easy. We say first and foremost to the hunger strikers that you have our heart, you have our solidarity. We thank you for your courage. We will pray for your safety and for your health. As many have already said, it is such a sense of shame that we even have to be out here. It is shameful enough that workers are laboring 24-hour shifts. It is even more shameful that the same workers now have to go out on a hunger strike. How much more do they need to give in order for their humanity to be recognized? This is the richest city in the world. We are in the richest state in the world. We live in the region with the greatest economic inequality. And yet, we have a city council that is poised with enough votes that it could do the right thing. A city council that has promised us a better day to serve the interests of the people and not the interests of the corporations.
That's right.
Yet, today they are failing us. This is an unbelievable moral failure. How a society treats its most vulnerable is a reflection of the morality of that society. How we treat the workers is a reflection of the morality of that society. And home care workers do the work every single day to give a life of dignity to the most vulnerable among us. We thank them for their labor. They take care from the children to the elderly, to our brothers and sisters that are ill, and are just striving every day to have a life of fullness, a life of dignity. And without home care workers, many of our brothers and sisters, our family members, our neighbors, would not be able to have that life. Their labor should be rewarded. Their labor should be recognized. Their labor should be applauded. Their labor should not be exploited with a 24-hour shift. They are not robots. No robot can take care of our loved ones when they are sick. No robot can do work of 24 hours. It's unconscionable that a human being is being asked to put in these hours of labor. And in New York City, where wealth can be felt across these street corners, we cannot allow this to continue. And we know full well that this exploitation of labor is deeply connected to the racism and sexism within our society. It is not a coincidence that the majority of the workers are women of color. A group of people whose labor is already overlooked. A group of people whose labor is already underpaid. And today, the fact that a group of women workers, mostly women of color, many immigrant women of color, are being asked not only to stay poor, but also to labor for 24 hours and to give up the basic sense of what it means to be human is such a deep sense of racism and sexism that is entrenched in our sense of capitalism in our society. It's something that the City Council must address, Our union, with whatever might that we have, we pledge to stand with you, our brothers and sisters. We thank you for leading this fight, because as the sister said earlier, there are too many workers across New York City who labor too many hours. Our own members work 12-hour shifts, but when the streets are slow, they end up being on these streets for 16, sometimes even 18 hours. And most of that work is unpaid. In fact, the longer you work, the more unpaid they keep you. And so we know that one of the reasons they want healthcare workers to labor for 24 hours is it becomes a justification to keep those wages even lower. When they bring down one of us, they bring down all of us. But when one of us uplifts ourselves, you uplift all of us. And so, brothers and sisters, we thank you for your courage. We will stand with you. We know that you will win. We want the City Council past 615. No more. No more.